Indeed, Canada is one of the European Union's most trusted partners. We share the same vision of the world, the same democratic values. We believe in the power of cooperation, solidarity, and multilateralism. We are not only partners, we are true friends. And it is as close friends that we worked together through this last year, that we coordinated our support, for example, to the brave people of Ukraine, united in a common purpose. I know the deep and historical ties that you, Canada, have with our neighbor, Ukraine. I was deeply impressed when in April last year, many Canadian men and women went from here in Kingston, from Edmonton or from other Canadian bases all the way to Poland. They went to Europe to help the Ukrainian people who had to flee Russia's bomb. I'm also deeply impressed by the hospitality you immediately gave to Ukrainian refugees here in Canada, thousands of them. Just as we did in the European Union, we welcomed, sheltered and protected 4 million refugees from Ukraine. We have also strongly aligned our successive packages of sanctions against Russia together with our G7 partners. Sanctions are biting deep and hard, from going after Putin's cronies and propagandists to draining the resources he needs to wage his war. For example, the very successful oil price caps that we have agreed on together. We will keep supporting Ukraine in these dark times until Ukraine prevails. We're both stepping up our support to Ukraine, including our military support, because Ukrainians have all the necessary grit and spirit, but what they need is weapons. The European Union has already delivered 12 billion euros worth of military equipment so far. In parallel, we will continue training Ukrainian soldiers like you are doing so, but you have been doing since 2015 already. And therefore, here too, our coordination with the Canadian mission and the EU military assistant mission in Ukraine and for Ukraine is excellent. Our goal is, on the European side, to train 30,000 troops by the end of the year. In addition, dear Justin, I very much welcome your intention to deliver generators to Ukraine, very much needed in these times where Putin is strategically destroying the energy infrastructure and civil infrastructure in Ukraine. And I also welcome that you're ready to join forces with us to support the demining in Ukraine. These are few examples, but it's all exemplary for the very strong alignment we have between Canada and the European Union. So, of course, it's not only for the present challenge that we are standing shoulder by shoulder, but also for the mid and long term. We will help Ukraine together to rebuild its beautiful country with the support that we gathered through our G7 donors platform. A second issue we discussed today is critical raw materials. They are the lifeblood of the clean economy. We need them to reach our ambitious decarbonization objectives. This is why, of course, the European Union's focus is very strong on the resilience of our supply chains. But we see today that, for example, China produces 98% of Europe's supplies of rare earth. And Europe needs to de-risk this dependency. And this, of course, is immediately the reason why Europe seeks to work together with trusted partners. And trusted partners is first and foremost Canada, the only country actually in the Northern Hemisphere with all the raw materials needed to produce lithium-ion batteries. You have a vast experience on mining and processing, and we know, and that is important in combination, we know the importance that you attach to labor rights, to environmental protection, and to the respect for local communities. We have started a partnership on critical raw materials in 2021 It is already bearing fruit. Now it's time to take it to the next level. Let's build on the excellent cooperation between us and our companies. For example, the Swedish Northvolt partnering with Vale Canada to ramp up supplies of low-carbon nickel used to manufacture electric vehicles. Another typical example is the Belgian Umicore that is planning to build a battery materials production plant right here in Ontario. So we will step up work with our respective industries. There is already a whole pipeline of very promising projects in exploration, mining, and processing. We will support our businesses in matchmaking. We will identify good investment opportunities, and we will also boost and accelerate the joint research that we are doing. Finally, last but certainly not least, we discussed our cooperation on climate change. We are in a very strong position to lead the way globally. And together we can rally the international community behind net zero by 2050. You mentioned the opportunity to have a memorandum of understanding on hydrogen. Another key to the successful transition is carbon pricing. So I'm very happy to work for the European Union to join your global carbon pricing challenge. And finally, we want to create, as an overarching topic, as an umbrella basically, a green alliance between the European Union and Canada. It's to create good and well-paying jobs, to promote growth, to boost our energy and climate cooperation across the board. And yes, one shining example for that, how well, once in place, an agreement works, is CETA. I've just looked up the latest figure. So the increase of trade between us is by now in 2022 66%. So quite a step forward. Voilà, cher Justin, quelques mots pour décrire les opportunités qui s'offrent à nous. Deux partenaires historiques, deux amis rapprochés plus encore par des circonstances extraordinaires. Merci pour cette visite aussi utile qu'agréable.
Merci, Ursula.
La présidente.